Welcome to the Glow Up Effect podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Diana. Here at the Glow Up Effect, we're diving deep into mindset shifts, inspiration, and daily actions to help you thrive in your everyday. Let's get down to business and let's claim your glow up, girl.
Hello, everyone. Today is a beautiful day. It's a special day because we're recording in Casa de Twinkles. Yours truly, Elizabeth Diana, the host of the Glow Up Effect podcast with Bia Javier.
Hey guys.
So today has been a little crazy because we actually did like 25 minutes of this segment and all we see is a knife in the background. I'm like,
what is happening?
She's like, the mic's not recording. So me and Bia had a little bit, we'll call it a rehearsal for the sake of being artistic today. So it's been a journey, but you know, everything in due time, and I'm still really excited to launch this. This is actually a big deal because I haven't had an in-person interview since like mid-March of 2019.
Jeez.
So it's been forever. I have been, you know, with the pandemic and everything, recording content on Zoom like everybody else in the world, right? Shout out to Zoom. So it's been a whole project. We got 3 cameras rolling, we got production, we had Katie come set us up with equipment, we got official microphones over here that catch everything. We had to close all the windows. And you know, anyone who has had an in-person interview with me knows that, you know, where there's an interview, I bring liquor. So I got this cute little Cote de Roses Brut wine for Bia and I today. Like I said, we already went through half of it. We started. Because, you know, we was busy, but
it's so
good. Refill.
It's super good.
So, you know, Bia, thank you again for joining me. I'm going to refill you up because, you know, I'm a
it's so good.
Proper host. I take care of my people. But today we're going to really take a dive into Bia's creative craft, how she has been able to achieve her ultimate glow up through her music and touch the lives of people listening to her.
Thank you.
Her magical voice. I already told her she's going to sing in my wedding, so Bia just like, prepárate.
We ready.
Like she got to black out those days. We don't know, but black out. So Bia, I don't want to take any more of your time. You know, tell us about who is Bia Javier.
Yes. So Bia Javier, I am a singer-songwriter. I'm from Lawrence, Massachusetts. Boston is definitely my second home because, you know, I went to school out here. I also am an educator, which is something that I love. And I'm also, you know, in education, I've been able to bring music to my kids and my city, which I think has been super dope as well. So that's a little bit about me. Singer-songwriter, educator, and yeah, that's me.
And here she is, y'all. Here she is.
Yes.
You're actually the first musical artist I bring onto the podcast, so really exciting. Because I feel that I definitely talk to a lot of people about, you know, how they are striving and thriving in their present day. I was like, I love the angle of really telling your story as glowing up as a musical artist. And this actually leads into my next question, which is, you know, what was the defining moment where you were like, I want to share my talent with the world? Because a lot of us will, you know, have friends that's like, oh yeah, like they sang in church, they sang in, you know, the youth group and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But what was that kind of moment for you where you were like, I'm not just a singer, I'm not just good at this, like I want to be an artist?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, you know, I grew up, funny enough, in church, singing in church, but it wasn't until 2017 that I decided to, you know, actually make this a thing, because I've always been a writer, always like, since I was a kid, I would always journal, always journaling since like 10, and doing a lot of poetry, but it wasn't until that year, 2017, there was just a lot happening, in terms of like, you know how it is, sometimes relationships, it gets crazy. So I started writing what was a poem and made that into a melody, and it was then, and that was actually Circles. So I wrote Circles, which was my first song, and then Far Away came about.
My jam.
Yeah, so that was my first mini EP. So 2017 was when I really decided, like, yo, you know what? Let me just put this out. I had a conversation with one of my girls, and she was like, yo, this sounds dope. You need to finish that record, get this out, and that's it. You just wait and see. Because my biggest thing as an artist at that time, right, was like, yo, I'm so scared about, you know, if people are going to love this or hate this. But people were able to receive that, and I got, you know, the feedback that I wanted at that time. So that's how that came about.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I love that you say you were kind of sitting around waiting for like to see how it was received.
Yeah.
Because we think about music like, oh yeah, you just listen to it, goes in one ear, out the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you kind of put it to be received, it's like people are really dissecting the words, like how I just said, I love Far Away.
Thank
when
you.
I listen to it, like I understand and I dissect every word and I'm like, this is such a good song. And it's like I can feel the emotion, like, guys,
Yo,
go listen, okay? And I'm a huge R&B fan, so like I think that's why I'm obsessed with you.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask you, you know, you mentioned you went to Berkeley.
Yes.
So you are surrounded all the time by like really, really talented people.
Yeah.
How was that experience in terms of like, did you feel like it was like super, super competitive, or did it make you hustle harder? Like, what was that kind of navigating that sphere, especially as a Latina?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say, I feel in any space that you're in, I feel like that's like that with like any art school, really. Like it's definitely gonna feel competitive, but it was also a dope experience. Like I was able to meet a lot of like artists that I work with now, producers. Anytime I'm gigging, like this is like my Berkeley fam that I work with, and I think being there surrounded by so many dope people, it was a way to like build that network, you know what I mean? And for me, it was more of like, yo, you gotta hustle harder because you're surrounded by people that are dope at what they do, and so you wanna be even better. So for me, that's what it felt like, and it was also my way of building my network, because years later, these are still the same people that I'm connected with, not just in Boston, right? Like I have people in LA, like different states, New York. So it's dope to have that network for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like networking community in my podcast has become a super big theme.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up, because I know that you have been able to like collab for shows or collab for music. And can you tell us a little bit more about how has it been kind of like being accepted in that community that you were able to be a part of in Berkeley, and maybe like a favorite experience or a favorite memory?
Yeah, dope. I love that. So I think Berkeley, it was such a dope time. So I kind of grew up in Berkeley because I was in this program called City Music, Berkeley City Music. Shout out to you guys. And I started there when I was 15.
Yeah.
So when I was there, that journey was dope because a lot of the people that I met there, I work with now, right? Like Try, one of my boys, super dope artist. I work with him. We met through City Music. Same thing with one of my producers, Sean. Shout out Sean, who produced Far Away. Produces a lot of my records. But so that's when I started around that time. And coming from Lawrence, right, you feel like, oh my God, I'm from Lawrence. We're such a small town, but I love my city. So being able to come from Lawrence and kind of be like, yo, I'm here, I'm in Boston, even though it's super close, right? But it's still the
No, girl, that's a hike. Okay.
But you know what I
tell you.
No, but like, you know, it's a small town. So then when you're in Boston, especially being in Boston and then surrounded by people from like literally from all over the world, it was dope to be in that space and be like, yo, you know what? I'm from this small town, but I'm here. Like, I have a talent just like everyone else, and it was dope to be able to create that and like meet such dope people. So
So take us like physically into Berkeley right now. Like, what were the hallways like the jam sessions? Because I know that's like a love language for you, right?
Oh my God, those were the best times, dude. So like, no word of a lie, like we would walk down the halls and a lot of times like you would hear people rehearsing, but a lot of the times we would just set them up like, yo, tonight we're gonna be in this room, 8 o'clock, pull up, so we can like just jam out. So we would like rotate the musicians, the singers, we would be ready to go with our mics, like everything. And just like really a lot of it was like improvising on the spot or like doing different songs. And also just meeting different people, because sometimes you would walk in those rooms and you would just meet new people or, you know, so it was super dope.
Yeah,
really great times.
I love that. I love the idea of jam sessions because I'm not an artist by any means at all. Shower singing counts. No, I'm kidding. But I feel like jam sessions, like there's no rules. Like you kind of just go, you go with the flow, like whatever mood you're in. Like, you know, a drummer might give you like a crazy beat and you're like, okay, let me like match the energy right now. So I love that. And I feel like it probably has translated a lot into like the fun content that you put out now, like your acoustic covers. So tell us a little bit about that. How did the acoustic covers, especially in your car, that's like your signature, how did that come about?
So I had just got my new car, Blue, my little baby. So I got baby Blue, and I was like, yo, how can I get creative, right? Because honestly, at that time, I felt like I didn't really have a space to create, and it felt like my car was that space for me to just be like, yo, you know what? Let me just prop up my phone and just film myself. So it first started just me doing like acoustic. Before it was acoustic, it was acapellas.
Okay.
And so I would just do acapella.
Hold on real quick for the listeners and for myself. Can you tell us what the difference is?
Yes. Okay. So when you do something acapella, it's just like you singing without music. So it could be like, no me queda más que perderme en un abismo. That right now is acapella because there's no music. It's just me singing. So it started off as the acapellas in my car, and then I would hit up my friends who are guitarists and be like, yo, oh my God, join me, let's do this. And that's how I started with like Wes. I had Anita on there. I was in Texas once and had my boy all the way in Texas join me, and it was just dope, the feedback.
Yeah.
Avery Wilson, who's a freaking vocal, like amazing beast, commented on that one, and I was like, oh my God, Avery Wilson. But yeah, so like things like that. So I definitely want to bring those back for sure because I miss doing those. It was just very spontaneous. And like,
I like it because it's just like it felt effortless. It was just like it is what it is. I'm in the car right now, and like I'm about to serve some good.
Like
content.
after work, like let's just get in the car. Meet me here. Let's do this.
Yeah. Guys, follow me on Instagram and check out all of her covers because I have already binged them all, so I know them all. But Bia does a killer cover to SZA Good Days, which is my jam right now. Like this is the season of SZA Good Days. Like
she's so good.
Jam.
I love her.
And then I just I'll be in the car and it just comes on. I'm like, crank it. I freaking love that song. But I wanted to talk about your creative process.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about your songwriting, but kind of how do you feel that you best are able to write songs? You write songs for other people, and then also translating into the visual part of it. So kind of walk us through like that creativity and how you kind of put all the pieces together, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I think for me, it comes easier for me to write my music because I feel like that just comes to me, whereas, creating visuals, I get so anxious. Like, everybody I've worked with, my teams, I love them so much because it has been a challenge. Like, Anais can tell you, I was in the process of creating my visual for Abismo, and I had all these thoughts in my head, but I was blessed enough to have like a team of people that understood the vision and could calm me down, because when I'm telling you that I was tweaking.
A nervous wreck.
I'm like, guys, like, I don't know how I'm gonna look on camera, like, oh my God, like, body image, like, you start to really think of the craziest stuff, and you're
preparing for this interview, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
No, but for real, and like the body image, like, that's very real, and that was the same struggle I had with Far Away, and I was like, yo, you know what, that process is like, yo, as an artist, and I remember having conversations with my friends, like, you need to just trust your craft, create these visuals, because people are going to see this and follow your journey, right? So even if you're not where you want to be, you have to just embrace that and do that. So for me, again, like, songwriting comes more naturally to me. A lot of times it's like these rhythms, I hear these melodies and then put the words, whereas the visuals, I have these thoughts, but I have to really, in order to execute, I have to trust the people that I bring along with me, because that's what makes the magic happen, and like people that believe in me and can push me towards that and just be like, yo, Vianney, snap out of it, like, you got this is gonna be dope. And yeah, that's how, with that.
Yeah, and when you were speaking about visuals, it's like what is in your head might be completely translated by your team in a distinct manner.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
But then also, to your fan base, like, I can watch it and you want them to be able to grasp that same passion and idea that you had in your head. So like, it's like this huge like translating machine almost.
No, it really is.
Because earlier when I was saying like, okay, but you think that music goes in one ear and out the other, but it's the same thing with the visual. Like, you want them to capture that same exact idea.
People will feel it, and that's another thing too that we're talking about all the time. Like, if you don't feel your best, that's gonna translate through the camera, and it's like you don't want people to see that, so you got to get out of your head,
Yes.
So yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, what made you want to explore and play around with the concept of Spanglish in your music?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, I started off strictly more like R&B. How can I really show my voice as a singer? Because I feel like now R&B, there's a lot of dope artists, but R&B back then and now is very different. I think sonically, people don't sing as much. So I feel like for me, I wanted to really just showcase the voice. to the best of my abilities, of course. But then with time, I was like, yo, how can I also represent my culture, right? Like the Latino community, Dominican community. So incorporating the Spanglish, it came about in that sense. Also for marketing purposes of like, yo, a larger audience, the Latin music, we already know that feel this, you know what I mean? Like the Latin urban market is crazy right now. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I have to do the Spanglish, honey. Yeah, 100%.
I love that, and it's different. It's different. It's very refreshing, and it like gives you like that like anti-cookie cutter formula to your music.
Exactly, 100%.
So I really love that. And I wanted to ask you, your latest project. How has it been to kind of been like on grind season?
Yes.
Because I feel like every time I'm talking to Nice or I'm like checking out your page, it's like go go go.
Yes.
Like you're releasing this, planning this. So it definitely feels like a season of hustle. How we were talking about earlier, but like how has it been? Working on Motions.
Yeah, so Motions, man, that process was crazy. And listen, like for me, I had most of the music done with Abismo. In the middle of creating the project, I lost my grandma, right? So like, for example, Abismo, that song was done. And so it was, I lost my grandma. I was like, yo, I don't even know, how am I going to execute this? How am I going to wrap up this project? And so one day I was with my sister, and she had been showing me these, like the last conversations actually that she had with my grandma. And I was listening, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I want to use her. I want to use her voice at the end of Abismo. I think that would be just a way to honor her, but also sonically, like how I wanted to envision that part of the project. So I was able to incorporate her in that way, and that was huge for me, because I'm like, damn, this is a way that I can keep her alive in a way through my music, and I thought that was super dope to be able to do that. So yeah, that process was crazy, because when I'm telling you, I buried my grandmother Saturday. The next Saturday, yo, we were working. We were working on the visuals, and I had to really like have a moment like with my team and just be like, yo guys, like this is happening. I have to really like process this. But it was still like it's a blessing to be able to have people that understood what was happening and were supportive and could walk me through that and be like, yo, it's okay, you got this. Like your grandma will be super proud of you.
Yeah, so, and I think it really highlights as well that like when you are an artist and just like when you're working on a project and a piece, it's never really done, because I feel like I have a friend who's an artist who I brought on the podcast, and like she talked a lot about like she thinks something's done, she'll walk away and then she'll come back, and then it's like like you were done, and then you came back and you were like, no, I'm not done, I'm gonna throw in my grandma.
You revisit things.
It completely shifted the piece, shifted the emotion. So I really love that, because it really like gives a full-on lens into the creative process.
Exactly. 100%.
And I'm sure your team was like, hell yeah, this is a brilliant idea, let's go for it. Like,
I remember telling the girls like, oh my God, guys, I think I want to do this. I think I want to incorporate my grandma in this. And they were like, yo, do it. And I remember showing the girls, and they were like, yo, this works. Like, this is it. And then it felt final, But so Motions is just like a little bit of the emotions of everything, and also like motions of life, like going through the different processes, different changes. And I kind of just wanted to take people on a journey. Like we start off in this like sad like space, but also like a very like self-reflective moment, and you go through this journey of love. Like you start off in this like toxic space, but then it resolves into like new love and like being in a different space. So I think that's what that was.
I love it. Tell me a little about Loving Me, because that's my jam. It's my jam too. Listeners gonna be like, everything's her jam.
Yes, thank you. I love that. So Loving Me, funny story. That was not.
It gives me like resort vibes. Like,
that's so dope. Yo, when I heard it, I'm like, I gotta be in GR.
Yes.
It's like we gotta be out of here. But with Loving Me, like originally it was another beat that I found online, and thank God I didn't use that beat because. Like a month or two ago, I heard an artist from New York using the same beat, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "No." So then, I had producers sending me records. Shout out to A Dot, he produced "Loving Me." It was A Dot and Sammy. So yeah, Loving Me was just like, I heard it and I'm like, I want this to be a feel-good song. I want it to be a new love, because a lot of the times I write about like the sad love, like oh my god, I'm in my feels.
Yeah.
But with Loving Me, it's like boo, what's good? This is new, this is cute, this is refreshing, and so that's how that came about.
Keep it cute, yo. Okay. Yeah, I love that song. It is very, very fresh, upbeat. It's definitely not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
but I loved it.
You gotta change it up.
Me and my sister, we have it on replay.
No.
Shout out to my sister Kathy. Right. So I wanted to ask you. I asked all my guests, like, do you think that your music and becoming an artist has been a part of your present day glow up?
Yeah, for sure. I would say it is a part of the glow up process, because for me, when I started back in 2017, I'm not in that space where I was. And I think every season in your life is, it's very like pivotal in terms of how either you are as a person and how I create. So for me in that time, 2017, I was very like sad, and even still like with Motions, there's songs that seem sad, but it's in a different way, almost. So I would say yes, this definitely has contributed to, like, being a creative is definitely a part of my glow up process 100%, because I feel like that's how I'm able to navigate and like express what it is that I'm going through and like the different seasons of my life, for sure, 100%.
And the ultimate glow up is going to be when we're all lining up to go to your tour.
Let's go! We out here!
Pre-book your appearance to Bia's world tour, okay? Get behind me, all right? Get behind me, because I'm first in line.
Yo, that would be crazy. You imagine? Ooh.
Yo, I can't wait, because you're going to blow up. It is what it is.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, what is your glow tip for the listeners today?
Yes, so glow tip for sure would be, and I feel like there's so many, but I would say just believe in yourself. Always hustle. Sometimes, as a creative too, I think as human beings, like, we get in our own way. We get very scared sometimes, scared to create, scared to put things out, how people will receive you. So I would say you gotta stop the doubt. You gotta stop those like voices in your head, because it's really us getting in our own way.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I believe we are our own competition, and the day we realize that, we don't worry about anybody else. We'll focus on ourselves. Unstoppable. So I would say, believe in yourself, hustle. Don't worry about what anybody else has to say. Really.
Yeah, I love how you said that, because I was in a club. Have you heard of Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
So I was in Clubhouse, and this is a 2-part anecdote. But the first anecdote is I was like super amped. I'm like, wow, there's so many like amazing people on Clubhouse, because Clubhouse kind of brings in that, again, like community. Let's like all lift each other up situation. And I'm like in the women's empowerment kind of like boss woman kind of type of circles.
Yeah.
And there was one night where I logged off, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I don't know. Like, all these women are so much more talented.
You get like scared.
I was like, I'm never going back on Clubhouse. Like, I'm shutting everything down.
And it's not the truth, though. It's not.
And I was like in full-on panic mode. Like, the doubt was setting in so hard. Yeah. And then one day I was also on Clubhouse, and I asked a question. I was like, when did you know you were ready? Or when did you notice you were ready? And they were like, I never noticed or knew I was ready. It was the belief that I was ready. You have to believe that you're ready.
Period. And even if people like, and that happens to me a lot. Like, if I see that like maybe one project was doing better than the other, and people are not reposting as much or sharing as much, it's like, you know what? That doesn't matter, because a lot of times people in their journey, they have those moments where they may feel that they're not being loved or like being appreciated, and you want to give up and quit, but it's like, you know what? Nope, you gotta keep going, because then what? You know.
And one thing I want to say about like audio, and like now just being in the space where it's like reshares and likes and tags and stuff like that. What I've noticed, because podcasting is very like, you don't be feeling the love. Like, you be like, did anyone listen? Like, hello? Because there's nothing to physically like or, you know? And there's people that, you can reshare, take a picture or something. But my point being that it's like, there's not as many markers on how success is being portrayed, for example. But what I've noticed in this journey, I've been doing podcasting for almost 2 years now, or 2 years, is that people are always watching.
Dude,
so you might feel that you watch,
and they're watching. Yo, it's crazy. No, for real. So I think that's what it is. Like, if we get out of our own way and out of our heads, it would be a different ballgame. I mean, I think the fact that it's like you're still doing things, like you still push yourself, and when I say you, I mean like us, like every creative that I know, it's kind of like we're all gonna have those moments. And I think it wouldn't be normal if we didn't have those moments, But
absolutely.
It's all a part of the process.
Cheers to that. I love it. I love it. I wanted to ask you to wrap up. who is someone that inspires you in your music?
Yes, Selena. Everybody that knows
Anything
me.
for Selena.
Anything for Selena. Yo, I love her, and it's because
I
it's
love
like
Selena.
no, because like artistically, when I'm thinking like vocally, she was insane, but then also performance-wise, like she really knew how to captivate an audience. So I think that's what stood out to me. She's definitely one of my influences. I have like Jasmine Sullivan, Beyonce, Lucky Day, so you know, old school R&B, new school, jazz, a little bit of like everything.
A little bit of everything.
You know, Dominican music, everything.
Cue the bachata, right?
You know, cue the bachata.
Like,
yo.
Talk about really being in your feels.
No, for real. Stop. That's so funny. Cue the bachata.
But I want to ask you, what are your goals for this year? So you launched Motions.
Yes.
Like, what else can we expect from Bia Javier this year, 2021?
Yes, thank you. So definitely more live performances that I'm.
The
going
world
to
is
be
opening,
doing.
y'all.
Yo, the world is opening. I'm trying to, book these gigs, honey.
Yes.
And like you had mentioned, Motion. So obviously that EP is out. Make sure you guys stream that.
Everywhere.
Visuals for Avismo. So yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, Bia Javier, my YouTube page, Bia Javier, everything Bia Javier. But yeah, I think in terms of what people should be expecting, definitely more music, more shows. I'm praying that goes through because COVID shifted everything. I was ready to do it, but I was literally had shows lined up. COVID hit, and they were like, honey, everything's canceled. So,
The worst.
ready to get back on stage.
Are you on TikTok?
You know I'm not, dude. I need to
get on TikTok.
I need to get.
The world needs to be on TikTok.
No, but everybody, you're like, honestly, like, I don't even know how many other people have been telling me, yo, Bia, get on TikTok, get on TikTok. My niece, dude, who's 9, she was like, Titi, get on TikTok, let's do TikToks to your music. Legit.
I would kill for some Bia TikToks. Even just like, I feel like TikTok has become like obviously like the dancing, the fun, the easy, but also like it's a place people go to learn. Yeah. So like there could be people who are Bia in 2017 who want to learn more about how can I hit this vocal range, or like I'm sure, girl. We'll sit down for a consultation after because we about to no, but seriously, like the world needs more of Bia. So get on everywhere.
Thank you.
And what is your glow accessory? What is something you can't be without?
That's a tough one. There's so many. I think for me, I have to have my Blistex. Honey, if I don't have chapstick, my lips is
I wish Raymond was here so he could hear about the chapstick.
No, like
I'm ready to fight him.
No, for real, like my lips feel crazy. If I don't have like every 2 seconds, I'm like, yeah. So I would definitely say my Blistex and a mirror. Since I've been in high school, my friends are like, you have a problem. Like I always have to have a mirror. Like, oh my god, am I fine? Yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
Okay, I love that. All right, y'all. So now we're about to play a little game called This or That. Ooh. And a nice got here, and I was like, so I made this corny game.
I'm excited though.
She's like, all right, let me hear this. She was worried.
Let's see.
And then it wasn't that bad. I just again in my head. And I was trying to portray Bia properly in these questions. Now I'm making her nervous.
Let's go.
All right, so this or that, we're gonna start real simple. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi, dude. There's a difference.
I don't drink soda.
Yeah, she said. I mean,
I will drink anything, especially if there's rum in it. Like, so hand it over. Speaking of rum, dark or white liquor?
Dark, honey.
Hey. Okay. SZA or Jasmine Sullivan?
Oh, Jasmine. Honey! Dude, I love SZA, but Jasmine.
I love them both,
yeah.
Okay, Kalani or Janae Aiko?
Janae, honey. I'm gonna collab with
her.
These are all
secretive, just questions I wanted to know.
But Kalani, they're both fire, but Janae.
I love them.
Yeah,
okay. Versus version. Keisha or Ashanti?
Ashanti. Dude, I had Ashanti. I'm sorry. 100%.
Like, Keisha Cole's good, but it's like Ashanti.
Yeah, and she's a really dope writer, but I feel like she has more hits, 100%.
Yeah, I think the verses do come down to who has more hits.
Yeah,
Keisha Cole don't got hits. Like,
no,
she has a good ass voice, but
Ashanti for sure.
That's a conversation for another day.
Right.
Starbucks or Dunks?
Oof. Damn, hold on. I'm a Dunks girl. Dunks. I like Starbucks, and it's too overpriced. Like,
yeah, it is.
But Dunks, yeah.
But when you be channeling your inner bougie, you're like,
nah, but
it's a Starbucks company.
Starbucks be having ball. I can't even. That's not. Yeah.
My thing is, I'm also a Dunks girl because Dunks is nice to my pockets, and it's just more places, more accessible.
Right? Like Starbucks is.
But my thing is the quality control with Dunks. Like I go to Dunks and I don't know what the hell I'm getting. Like it could be the right drink.
No, that's so true. It's so true. Like where you go, it depends. Sometimes it's not the same.
There's one near my job. You don't pull up on so just forget it. Anyways, it's
that's
really
so true, dude.
They should work into my job description. Obviously, this is when the world was open, but I'd be like, I went to Dunkin' Donuts. And it'd be like a confessional hour. I'm like, I ordered this. They gave me this. This tastes like
confession.
Like,
no, it's
so
true.
bad.
It's so bad.
Like I'm just like Dunkin'.
Damn, you got me with that. So I don't know, bro.
I love Dunkin' too. Like, it just is what it is. But like,
Starbucks,
they need help. They need a better training system. So,
100%.
what's your favorite show right now?
Oof. Wait, there's so many, dude. I just finished Game of Thrones. Yo, it was crazy. Game of Thrones, because my sisters and my brother-in-law were like, yo, can you please watch Game of Thrones? Like, please. Yes. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I started watching, and I was like, yo, this is
I think I'm the person
insane.
who was remade in the, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's how it was for years. Like, I would see so many people tweeting about it, and when I finally watched it, I'm like, yo, I understand the hype.
The hype is real. Favorite throwback reggaeton song?
Ooh. Wait. Por eso friki. Yo.
That's a good one. I was literally in like 8th grade when that came out. Like maybe younger. Maybe like 7th grade.
Yo,
but that's a good song.
That's a good one.
I was in the car the other day and I was listening to a song that referenced the song that I'm gonna say. I know I didn't ask for my
No,
but
I didn't hear this.
It's Llame pa verte. I was like, yo, Wisin y Yandel throwback Llame pa verte.
They were
I used to have that recorded on my phone's voice.
Yeah.
Like,
yo, you remember people used to, either the ringtones or like the voicemail people would call you?
That's
mad
like, and then I was like, thought I was being slick because I was like, get it, you're calling.
Yeah.
So that's I have a lot of throwback reggaeton.
That's a good one. That's funny.
Do you have a fave performance to date? I know COVID threw you through a loop.
Yeah, well, let me see. There's just so many. So there's one coming out. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good ones, but I'm excited because I have one coming up with Miso Brown. Shout out to Miso Brown.
Nice.
It's a live production with like a full band, and it felt great to do that because that was the first time, and literally since COVID, being able to perform with a full band. So I'm excited for you guys to check that out. So
when is that happening?
It should be out in a few weeks.
Okay.
But we already, filmed it.
Amazing.
And yeah, dude, I'm excited for that one. That was gonna be good.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm
Do
excited.
you have a dream collab? If you could collab with anyone.
That's tough. I've always said Janae Aiko. Okay, there's 3 right now that I could think. Janae Aiko, One Day, Bad Bunny. Oh, hey! Damn, but wait, there's 4 like Rosalia and Jasmine Sullivan.
Ooh, Rosalia.
I'm obsessed, dude. So good.
She's good.
I love them all.
She's very different.
Yeah.
I love those. And could you do a 30-second cover for us? Winner's choice, whatever you'd like.
Okay. Let me see. I could do an original maybe. Okay. Not looking back, no more. You're trying to pull me back into your trap. You said the same shit, doing the same shit, yeah. Why she in my mind, talking crazy? Tell me, baby, always manipulating. Like why you want me saying, you know you'll never do what you need to. It's so sad, so sad, so sad. You gone mad. Hey, don't let.
So good. I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much.
Yes.
Literally, when I was telling my sister earlier, I was like, yeah, I'm recording with Bia Javier. She's like, is she gonna sing? And I'm like, I mean, okay, ask her. And then I like,
you gotta be ready. You gotta stay ready.
I threw in the game. I was like 30-second cover. I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think she's gonna sing.
30-second original. I was like, wait, it's not a cover. Oops, my bad.
No, whichever. It really doesn't matter. We just wanted you to sing. Well, anyways, to wrap up, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to give you your own glow up effect.
Stop! That's mad cute.
It's real soft and buttery.
That's mad cute, dude.
It's cozy. It is.
And it has the glow up effect.
Yes, wear it whenever you're feeling phenomenal and glowy.
Yo, this is cute. Thank you.
I like to give gifts.
What? This is mad cute. I'm mad excited.
I love it. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
So much for
Such a
joining
dope time,
me.
for real.
Everybody be sure to follow Bia on Instagram like she mentioned.
Yes.
Bia Javier on everything but TikTok, but we're going to work on that. Go find her, check out Motions. I'm a Spotify girl, so go on Spotify.
Yes.
But go anywhere, check it out. You're going to have it on replay because it's a brief, free listen, like just so good.
Thank you.
Have you in your fields or lack thereof, and just do what you gotta do. Thank you so much for joining us. I think I'm gonna make this video thing like a tradition.
You have to keep doing it, dude.
Why
It's
not?
so bomb.
Because I think it is able to let us like really show our emotions, our personalities.
People capture that
in
more.
the world. Like I said, the world is opening. So yeah, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube because now it's going up on YouTube. I got a YouTube now. I got a YouTube, mom. No, I'm kidding.
Let's go.
So be sure to follow The Glow Up Effect on Instagram. I also have my website, www.theglowappeffect.com, where you can learn more about me, more about my episodes. This is season 3 already. Like, time is flying when you're having fun.
Yes.
And I have new services. So I do coaching. I help podcasters launch their podcasts. I also help women launch their passion projects. So Clarity Coaching is, I'm your girl.
Yes.
Let's get you launched and ready. And then I also do social media strategy. So hop on my website, check it out, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Yay! Cheers!
No, cheers. That was dope. That was really dope. I love that.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Glow Up Effect podcast. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. If you love this episode, please share with your friends and family and tell them to check out the Glow Up Effect. Lastly, if you don't already, please check me out on Instagram at the Glow Up Effect.